I'm just checking with him.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we yeah, hi everyone. So let me just start with the I mean whatever the knowledge sharing or overview about the technical overview about Engagement Cloud. So when we get an instance, yeah, when we get an instance from GC, normally we get GSI, Global Single Instance, which is the complete Fusion suite we'll get, which is kind of this way. It'll have sales and service login, HCM, and ERP all together. The complete Fusion suite we'll get. And sales and service, that is called, I mean, that is Engagement Cloud, and now it is called as B2B sales and service. So yeah, here in if you go here in the auxiliary links, sorry, not in the auxiliary links. So here you can see the list of users we can use. Normally, what the user admin user, this supermost admin user, what we have for CRM is John Dunbar, John.Dunbar. So that is what we regularly use. Or either we can use Bala Gupta, Bala.Gupta, and the instance password you will get it from the landing page. So that is how we'll log into the instance. And then yeah, so I don't, what I will do is, so probably I'll just flip between this instance and I have another instance which is a production instance. I mean production instance in the sense it's not a GSC provider instance. So that will be a little fast, so that sometimes I'll flip to the other application as well. So first of all, so here if you could see, you have something called themes here. So there are, out of the box, there are very many themes I've given here, and you can create themes to change the look and feel if you are branding it for your customer, any customer which you are going to demonstrate. You can create your own theme so that the look and feel. So this is done for a customer in Dubai. So if you could see that the look and feel is different. So basically, or they gives with this Redwood theme. That is the default theme which comes up, which is yeah. So this is not even Redwood theme; it's a Vision theme. So this is how it is. But you can create your own theme. So to create that own theme, you need to understand the sandbox concept, and then what is sandbox and how do you change this? I'll show you here. So if you, as your admin, if you go to the navigator, you will see something called sandbox here. Okay.
What is the admin login?
For the GSC provider instance, admin login is John.Dunbar. John.Dunbar or Bala.Gupta, anything. Okay. That's what. In the landing page, you can see the list of users. You can see the username and username. See, if you want a service agent, if you want a sales rep, see if you could see here, if you search with display name, see, sales rep, so you can get the sales rep, like Cindy Kuchran is a sales rep, and again there is a user called Lisa Jones. So you have the complete list here, but you don't have to go and refer this list all the time. So by when you start working, you will get to know. So that will be the default user in all the GSC provider instance. John Dunbar is the admin, and Lisa.Jones is the sales rep. Mateo Lopez is Lisa's manager. So something like that. The org structure and everything you can check in the system, but when you start working on it, you will get to know about it. So for configurations and everything, you can use John Dunbar or Bala Gupta. So that is what I was saying. So here, when you go to Navigator, you can search for you under configuration. You have something called Sandbox. So that is what primarily we need to make any change on the system. So Sandbox. Click on Sandbox. What is the Sandbox concept is? If it is like if you're going to change anything on the system, you take a copy of a sandbox. So you say create sandbox and give a name, and you can select what are all the tools you want as part of the sandbox. So what is a sandbox? Sandbox is nothing but it's a take a copy. It will take a copy of a main line, and it will give you a workspace to work on it. And once you do your changes, and then you can publish the sandbox so that it will be available in the main line. So that is called sandbox here. And for that sandbox, you're going to create a sandbox and make some changes. What are the changes you are going to do? Based on that, you need to create the you need to select the tools. So one is application composer, which if you want to create a custom field or custom application, sorry, custom object, or anything you wanted to do with application composer, you can see, you can know, you'll get to know what you can do with app composer, what you can do page composer and all that. So I'll just tell you. So this is this is given here. It is for creating custom object and extending any page layout and everything. You need app composer. So that is one. And here you see something called appearance. Appearance is nothing but that is what you need it for your branding. I mean the look and feel, the theme, creating a theme and everything. You need this tool, appearance. And there is something called structure. Structure is, so here in the navigator or in the springboard in a sense, when you come on the welcome page, right? So this springboard, what are the icons to be shown here? What are the icons to be hidden? And how, if you want to group the icons and everything, you need this one, structure. And user interface tool, user interface text is to rename anything in the rename the user interface in the application. For example, opportunities is an object in the system, and you want to rename opportunities to project throughout the system. So you can use this tool, user interface text. You go give the word opportunity and replace with project, and search and replace. It will search and replace with that. It is like the object name, or wherever it is exposed in the layout, in there any validation message everywhere, wherever it is mentioned as opportunity, it will be replaced as project. So something like that. So this is for user interface text replacement. So this you don't need probably now. And page integration is to, page integration is to, if you have any third party website or any third party application, so any external application you wanted to show within our Fusion system, so in that case, or any BI dashboard which you want to show, for that also you can use page integration. So you can create a page integration and give the URL of that. So you can create a new icon like this, and you can show uh, the external application in this. That is for page integration. Page composer. Page composer.
Any example of page integration? Is it like something I want to track a delivery while delivery of the goods on a courier tracking website? That could be a page integration.
Yes. Yeah. Anything. Yeah. So any. So how I can say. Okay. So for example, this is one. You have an
I don't
account.
want to disturb your whole. Go ahead. It's a lot. Maybe later on you can add it. I will not interrupt in between. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No problem. No. Yeah. So just to say, so for example, you have an account. You have address and you have latitude and longitude, and in a sub tab you want to see the map view of that account. So what you can do is you can get an URL of Google Maps API, the dynamic URL of API. I mean dynamic URL of the Google Maps, and passing this latitude and longitude, you can embed that Google Maps view in this. In a sub tab to show that. So that is why we need page integration. So there are few things which we can do it in, within App Composer as well, and also in Page Composer. Page integration is to separately you create a new page with like a new icon. So that is why it is. Going further, you will be able to understand. And Page Composer is selected. Page Composer is to make changes on the page level. So if you want to dynamically hide the field, or you make it conditionally required, or you wanted to, so this is 1 minute. It is to edit the UI layer. So that is what we need, Page Composer. And then remaining things we don't need. Lookups, if you want you can add it, if you want to edit any lookups, but this is really we don't need. We can do it with App Composer only. Okay, I'm just going to create a new sandbox now. So I'm just creating a new sandbox with all these tools. So if you are on a sandbox, you can see the yellow color ribbon here, which shows you that you are on a sandbox. You are in this sandbox, whichever sandbox you are in. Yeah, 1 minute. 1 minute.
Silva, go ahead. You take care of kid.
Yeah. No, my daughter is coming and saying something.
I
So,
know.
yeah.
If she needs, go ahead. We can
No,
wait
no,
for
no.
some time.
Yeah. So if you could see here, there are 3 sandboxes. So this is what the sandbox I created. So earlier we had a problem. So that's not a problem now because there are sandbox conflict and all that. But that is not there now. We can merge the sandbox and all that. So when you want to make a change, you create a sandbox and select whatever the tools you want. And you are in the sandbox. So you see this yellow color ribbon here. And then once you are done with the changes, you can publish the sandbox. I'll tell you how to publish the sandbox. So as you are in the sandbox, you can go and select the tools. So what are you going to do? You are going to change the look and feel of the application. So you go to the appearance tool here. So in this appearance tool, you see this here. So you see 2 tabs. One is the themes. Another one, what you have here is the homepage display. Homepage display. So this one, homepage display, how you wanted to have it. So you have very few option here, very less option here. One is what you want. You want this option. So how the main homepages are a different type. One is this social. You can see here the preview. Social is you see a social bar in the top and below icons. And another one is announcements. So you can put the announcements screen here and then icons below. And or the cover image. Just put a cover image and have the icons below. Or make it none. Make it none. Only the Springboard icons it will show. Okay. So that is what. So this is the very few. This basic outline structure. What you have. How the homepage wanted to display. Okay. So and here. So primarily normally we don't change this. So we'll just create we'll create a new theme and we'll give it to the customer. So that is what. So here, if you could see, you are on this vision theme. And you have a lot of themes here. And if you want to make change any change on top of an existing theme, you can select that particular theme and you can make that change and you can apply. And if you apply, that theme will be replaced, or else you can go to actions and save as a template and create it. So what you can change it here. So the default homepage layout, you want a banner or panel or news feed. So panel is nothing but you see a panel on top of this one. And if it is a news feed, you will see this is what we are seeing is news feed. So this particular theme. So here, and you see the analytics here and the remaining the dashboard and bullets here. So this is what the different theme. And the logo, if you want to add a logo of the customer, you can select the predefined logo, or you can go here, put a file. And if you're doing for Reliance, you can take a Reliance logo and then put it there. Something like this. You just download this image and choose the file and upload this. Hello. Hello, I'm on a call. I'll call you later. So you can put this logo here, and then the background image of this particular screen also you can put. If you want if you want to change any background image, you can change it. And then the color, you can see everything has been mentioned here. So the global region background color, global region text color. Global region is nothing but what you see here. So this particular part is called global region. So while you're making change and coming and looking at the screen, right, you will be able to make out where to make change and all that. So this is global region, and then how the icons, see, you can make it as any color, and then text color should be white and the background color dark green, and the cover image is whatever the image what we select in the panel, right? The top panel, that one. And the image, how the image you wanted to see, it's a square image. I mean, yeah, you can change the icon color, everything. Okay, so the label can be white and all that, the background shape. So if you want this to be rounded, this one. So all that you can change it here, and you can apply, or you can, yeah, so you can say this as a theme now. So once you change the theme and you publish the sandbox, so when you come to this landing page, your theme will be available here. So for your demo, you can select that particular theme and then launch it, so that yeah, see, now the image is bigger, so that is why it has come like this. We need to use the right size image here. Yeah. So yeah, so now I did a wrong image selection, so that's why it is showing this bigger way. Okay, so that is what that is how you change the look and feel of the application, and then you publish it, you will find this one. So that is the basic about changing the look and feel of the application. So that is on the branding part, and let's move on to the next tool what we have created. I mean, what we have selected, that is AppCom. Structure, you don't need to spend time. You can just create a sandbox and play around, go to the structure, and you can move things around. I mean, you can show, 1 minute, I'll just show you whatever is, yeah. So this one, so this is called structure. Let me come out of this. This is little disturbing. The bigger icon. I'll put a default or logo. The main problem working with Fusion is it will be very slow. Moreover, the JSC instances are even slower than that. Yeah. So structure. So here you will see the list of icons what you see on the Springboard. For example, now in this one, if you want to, you can search. You can see this one. You can search for the icon. See, you have opportunities, and you don't want to show this opportunity in home page or whatever. See, you can go here. So now it is grouped in the sales folder. You can move it to the top level, and then they've already given a show in navigator, show in Springboard option. So you can either make it yes or no, or you can give an expression. So when you give an expression, based on that expression, conditionally it will show. So they have put like if the profile value is this, then show. If the profile value is this, then show. Else, not don't show. So you can give a condition also. You can show it by default, or you can hide it by default, or you can show it by on a condition basis also. Okay, so that is what you do in structure, and you can move it up and down. And you have all the standard pages. I mean standard icons. You have see this one, for example, under sales. If you could see, they have grouped everything on this part. So under contacts, for example, let me go to contacts. Again, you can move it to a different folder, and you can use this expression. Under that, you have something called tabs here. Here, what you can do is, you can, by default, there are 3 analytics tabs are available, and that will not be visible. So you can make them available. Yes. So how many of them you want, you can enable them. So by default, there are 3. So you can say, you can enable 3 and show them. See, this is again one kind of page integration. So that's why I said page integration is not required, but still, yeah. So I've enabled this 3 now. So you can move move those icons, or you can show or hide those icons, and you can enable the analytics tab and all that. So now what did we do is sales, under sales, contacts, right? I created a very bad theme, I guess. There we have contact. Yeah, so we have contacts here. So still we are on this sandbox only. So here contacts, if you could have clicked on contacts, you will see only this contacts screen, and you don't see these 3 tabs. So now we have enabled this. So here you can go and show, you can expose any, any BI report or whatever. So it's primarily meant for analytics to expose some reports. But how do you do that? You can do anything actually here. How do you do that? So here come to tools again. So you have enabled a page here, and you are going to edit this page. So for that is why we need Page Composer here. So go to Page Composer. If you go to Page Composer, okay, while this is coming up, I'll say go to opportunity. Yeah, this is very bad. See, in the opportunity screen, they've already enabled 2 tabs, and they've exposed some reports. So that is why I am going to show here. That is why I've come here. So if you see that there is a BI OB reports or dashboard, something which they've exposed for the sales rep. While they are accessing opportunity, they can go to this report part, and they can see that also. But yeah. So it can be anything. It can be a BI report, or it can be any third-party website or any third-party application which we can iframe within the engagement cloud. Wow, this is very slow. Yeah. See, so here they've given a nice look and feel of a report. I mean, the opportunity sales stage report. It is a very good report created. I think Edward and team created this report and given in GSE. So it shows like what are all the opportunities in which stage for which this user has access to. So like this, you can give this, or you can give a website of which shows the latest trend of or the customers any other application which is iframeable, be it ERP or any other application, that also you can do it here. So I just wanted to show you how do you do that, but let this come. So you are here and enable Page Composer. Yeah, so this is how it will be. So when you enable Page Composer, you enable that page, and you come to the page, and you are going to edit this page. So you enable you are into Page Composer now. So you have something like this. You have change layout, and you have add content. So when you say change layout, you can make this layout as like this one, or two column, or one bigger and one smaller, or the like this, whatever the option you want, you can have it. So you can make it as two column, and you say add content. When you say add content, see, you have these options. What do you wanted to add? You want to add any component, or you want to add any application content, or you want to add any report analytics. So if you go to report analytics, it will directly take you to BI. So BI presentation server. You know, right? All Fusion Engagement Cloud instance has its integrated, pre-integrated with OTBI. So you go to shared folders, and yeah, you can show any of the report. So customer data management. Okay, there is no report here. So quickly, I'll put some report here. Shared custom CX. Say contacts. I don't see any report here. Okay, so something like this. I'll put this one, average sales style, or any dashboard or whatever you want, you can add it here. So this is adding a report, and if you want to add any other component also, you can do it. While this is loading, let me. Follow this way. Come on. Okay, so this report has been added here, and you can edit this report. And I don't know whether the report has any content or what, or I selected a wrong report or whatever. So you can add it here. Similarly, you can add other things like, so you go up, you don't want to say, yeah, that report doesn't have data, but so I'll go to the top, and I'll say see, this is application content, web application and tools that present from various sources, that also you can add. So, or regular see, so these are some content GSC has created, right? So that is there. Or you can do, see this one, you go to a component, and you can add any image or hyperlink or HTML markup. You can create your custom application or any web page as well. So you just give this web page, add, close. So here your web page will come, you edit. So if the customer has a portal, and source what I can give, probably any blog or something. Okay, I don't know whether this will come. So you can give, you can iframe that particular thing within that. So that is what I'm trying to say. I think this is not taking it. Okay, so this is redirecting automatically. So when I say website, it can be any customer intranet portal, or any custom VBCS application which you have created, and all that also you can show there. So that is yeah. So the URL which I put, the Economic Times URL, it is redirecting and reloading. So that is why it's not showing there, I guess. So that is also you can add that. So that is the use of Page Composer mainly. Yeah, enabling that structure. You enable these tabs, and in Page Composer you add. See, it keeps going there. Fine. So let's leave that there. So that is what Page Composer is. And again, Page Composer is used to edit in other pages as well. So if you go to opportunities, any page, there are many places. You need to understand where you can use Page Composer or where you can use App Composer. So here, if you go to Page Composer again, so when you are on Page Composer, you'll see like this, right? And then I'll open one of this. And if you go to select, when you are in this layout, so you can select this component. You can select any of these components. See, Page Composer is not widely used actually. Most of the things we can do it by App Composer only. So the Page Composer primarily we use to embed those reports, or embed the other application. That is what we use it. So here you go and edit component, and then you make change the property of that tool. See, either you want to show this component, or you can hide this component and all that. So that is why primarily Page Composer is the main tool. What we use for extensibility is App Composer. So let me go there. So what is App Composer? So we have seen all this, and yeah. So let me go to App Composer. That is the primary tool we use to customize our extend our Fusion application. So this is how it will look like. When you come to App Composer, this is how it will look like. And if you could notice one thing, see, you see objects, you see common setup. Common setup is common for everything, and common for all objects. That is what I'm saying. And advanced setup. If you could see, there are 4 things which are there, which are outside sandbox. So we are on a sandbox, and these are accessible outside sandbox. Okay, and these the other tools which is available within sandbox. So to make the change on your App Composer, these custom changes, you need to be on the sandbox to access all this. What is available in the outside sandbox is these 4. These 4 are very simple. One is custom subject area. If you created a custom object, if you want to create a subject area or to create reports, so that is available outside sandbox. Email template. Email template, you want to trigger an automated email. For that, you need to have a template which is created by default, so that you can create that email template outside sandbox. Remaining 2, we don't really need to use. Import and export is to generate artifact when you create a custom field or object, which is not really required. Yeah, so those are available outside sandbox. So when you come to sandbox App Composer on a sandbox, you see all this. So here you see custom objects and standard objects. When you expand standard objects, you see all the standard objects in the CRM. So before that, you see here application. You are in CRM, and you can go to ERP and SCM also. If you select this, you can see these standard objects and custom objects which are created in ERP and SCM. So it is created like a 2 kind of containers, CRM and ERP and SCM. So if you come to CRM, you will see both sales and service. What are all the objects you have here? See, you see account, action, and see all the major objects: account, contact, opportunity, lead, and everything. So you are going to make a change in opportunity object. For example, expand this, and then if you could expand this, you will see 4 options. One is what are all the fields, and joins you don't have to use, and I mean it's automatically created. Still, if you want to go and make some change on the join, then you can go there. Pages, and the pages which are related to opportunity, and action and links. Action and links, in a sense, actions are buttons and custom actions what you have, and the links, any hyperlinks or whatever you have in the object. And server script. Server script is the place where you write your code. And firstly, you go to fields. When you go to fields, you see two options. One is standard fields, and another one is custom fields. Okay. So primarily to extend an application, we use this app composer. That is again creating a custom field or custom object and custom code validation. And then there is something called object workflow. See, if you could see here, there are a lot of custom fields which are already created, and standard fields. You can see the standard fields. Standard fields, you cannot do anything. What you can do is you can only change the display label of the standard field. Other than that, we cannot change the property of the standard field. Custom field, you can you can create as per your business demand. So when you click on this one, new custom field, you have an option to create. You can create a text field or number field or a date field, long text clock field, or a checkbox, percentage, date time, currency. It is again a kind of number field. Choice list is like a list of value, and dynamic choice list. Dynamic choice list is nothing but you want to show the list of value dynamically from another object. For opportunity, you want to select a partner. So you can select the partner object, and so that when you come to that list, it will show the list of partner available in that system. So that is called dynamic choice. Formula fields are nothing but the calculator fields. On the fly, it will calculate and show. You can put a formula behind this. This will not stored anywhere in the database, and this field will not reportable. Only for the UI purpose, it will. You can put the code behind that, and it will calculate and show you. Okay, so yeah. So for a now, I'll just I'm not going to create. I'll just show you how does it look like. So you give a display label, partners, give a name, and it will automatically take a API name. You want this field to be make it required, or is it should be updatable or read only? Is this field should be searchable? And again, if it is updatable or required, okay. So you have required. You have an option here. You can make it conditionally required also. So you can give a condition here. So this is where you need your Groovy skill. Or so Groovy is very simple actually. It is very easy. You can write. It's a simplified Java. So you can write your code. For example, if today is greater than some condition, you can give anything. Today -2, return true. So if this condition return true, then this field will be required. So or you can put any condition, any condition. For example, see to make use of Groovy, see if you could go here, the formula thing, you can select here. You can have all this function. Text contains. See, it will give you a simple example. So you can copy and put this here, and then right. See if you want to do a text condition, if you want to do a number condition. See if you want to take an average, minimum. One simple example as given here. You can put it here. And see, this is another one, user profile. User profile. See, if you select this and insert it, so this will give you the username. Define username equal to this one. End. If username equal to John.Dunbar, return true. So what will happen is, so this will get the logged in username. So if a logged in username is John.Dunbar, then it will become required for only for him. If other user logged in, it will not be required. So you can give get the username, user ID, so many other things. See the user's time zone, based on user time zone, based on user manager, anything. And if you go to other, again get user profile and all that. You can give any condition here based on your Groovy logic. And see here, if you go to fields, on opportunity, what are all the fields available here. So you can select any one field. If approval status, yeah, you can put this field here and say if approval status is not equal to null, then return true. So then if approval status is not equal to null, then this field will become required. So any condition you can give here. So based on a function or based on any field value, or you can make a web service call and get an input, get an output, and then also you can do it. So this is a Groovy palette where you can write this condition. So you make it required, updatable. So everywhere you can write Groovy, and then lookup type. So this is where you create your lookup value. What are all the values you want? You can create it here. So partner, I wanted to have like partner, and I can give the values like partner one. So other many LOB values you can give. So you selected this and the constraint pick list. So if you select this constraint pick list, so it should be based on another value. See, for example, I'll say bit type. Okay. So there is another value bit type. Based on that, I need to show up this value. So here I'll do the value map here. When you do a value map, how do I do it? Say I say my bit type field has this budgetary and firm. Okay. So when it is budgetary, yeah, when it is budgetary, show the value only partner one. Sorry. When it is firm, show only partner two. So in the UI, if I go, if the field budgetary selected the first value, it will show only the partner one. So it is like a hierarchical pick list you can create here also. Okay, so that is the constraint pick list is whatever I was saying about. And here you can say a fixed value, this one, or you wanted to have it from based on a condition also, you can give this. This is how you create field, custom field you can create. And it can be those types whichever I was showing, either text or dynamic choice list, date, time, and all that. And once you created the field, if you could go here to the pages, you can see all the pages which are available for this particular object. So in opportunity, you created a field, and now you're going to expose that field in the layout. And in the layout, yeah, let this come up. Yeah. So in opportunity, we have three. Every object, if you go, you can see the pages, and by default, you will have this landing page, creation page, detail page. Okay. So based on a different object, you may be seeing different pages. But opportunity, what are all the pages available for you to extend that you have here? So these are the pages which you are allowed to extend. So here, yeah, in opportunity, you have these things, right? Yeah, so landing page is nothing but when you click on opportunity icon, you see the summary list, right? So that page, that is called landing page layout. Sales, where is that opportunities? Yeah. So this is called landing page. And when you click on create opportunity, the page which opens up, that is called create page. And when you open up an opportunity, what you see, that is called detail page. Okay. And if you on the create page, you don't see anything actually. I mean, when I say anything, you don't see any sub tab or something. You see a blank layout. And when you go to a detail page, you see a lot of sub tabs. You can show anything on the sub tab. I'll tell you what are all the things you can show here also. Okay. So you want to expose this in the landing page, the field which you have created, just drill down on it and just toggle the fields. So here you can see edit, and you can show what are all the fields you want to show. You can just move it one, you can move and save it. And the landing, So you can move those fields and then save this layout so that it will be, the new field will be available in this. So currently you see only 10 fields. You can see further whatever the fields you are exposing, that will be shown here. So that is on the landing page layout. Okay, so creation page, it's the similar way. You can go there and you can edit and you can show those fields and you can order those fields. That is on the create page layout. And detail page, I'll show you. Before showing this detail page, you can see landing page there are 3, creation page there are 3, and detail page there are 3. Why there are multiple layouts? So that is called dynamic layout. So you can create dynamic layout. You select this and click on this duplicate. So it will create one more layout for you, and then you can give a condition here. Okay, so condition is nothing but, see here again you can write a, select a rule. Sorry, you can select a role for, I mean, if you could see here, you can select this layout should be, currently it is set as any, so any role this layout will load, or you can select specific role. If you say sales rep, and if you select this one and say okay, so this, if you selected sales rep, this layout will load only for a sales rep user. For other users, it will load a next layout. So that is what you can do it here. Or
Is it possible by username?
yes, you can. Yeah, so that is what. One is by role. Another one is, yeah, so I can show you. Another one is, if you could see here, this one, the expression, you can, one is you can type a role here, and then another one is the expression. Expression you can give anything, possible by username, or possible by time zone, or possible by based on another field. Anything you can give. So you can select this one. If you can just give a simple condition. So if award date, right? It depends on award date, and then again you can write the groovy thing here. If award date is greater than today, then you can give this condition. Then this layout will open. So you can give any condition here based on a function, or based on a user, based on a logged in username, or based on an existing field value in that record, anything. So that is what the dynamic layout is primarily. Yeah, so the dynamic layout is for yeah, in the creation page. Even if the create opportunity button, if you click on it, it does open up the page, right? So you can design it multiple dynamic layout. You can give some condition. If the current yeah, so the currency is USD, right? If it is USD, show a layout. If it is some other currency, show a different type of layout. So all that you can do.
In this case, I see three layouts which is attached to any role. So
Yeah.
which one takes preference?
Yeah, so it which is there, whichever is there in the top will take preference. See, if you could see 3 layout, which is standard layout, which we cannot edit. So we have taken a copy of it and we have created this. And again, one more is there. So now these two doesn't have any conditions, and the top, all 3 doesn't have any conditions, right? Any condition is load. So it always loads the top one.
Okay, but I can inactivate the other two also, no? By
Yeah, you can.
active button. Okay.
Yeah. You can inactivate the other two. You can inactivate the other one. You can select this and inactivate. But the standard layout is something which you cannot inactivate. It will be there. So you cannot make any change also. I mean, initially you can expose those fields and all that, but you cannot make further change. You can always take a copy of it and keep it on top of it, so that the top layout will load. Right. So that is what the duplicate layout is. And you can order this layout. See this one. If you created this order, and you can see, select this and move top, bottom. You can set the preference of the layout to be load. Okay, so you can do that. You can select this, and you want this to be take precedence in the bottom. You can move it to the bottom. I'll just see whether this application is at least little fast, so that we can use this. Everything is. Okay, so that is on the pages. Yeah, I wanted to show you what you do, what you can do it in the detail page layout, because that is where we'll do most of the changes, not in the summary layout or in the create layout. Detail layout is the place where we do a lot of changes. Yeah, so let me go to one of the detail page layout. Detail. See, if you could see in account, see here I'm in account pages, and the other instance I'm in opportunity pages. Here you see only the summary, creation and detail. If you could see in account, there are many: landing page, creation page, detail layout, and there is something called reusable region, and summary boxes. If you could see, right, the customer 360, you see that summary boxes and all that. That also you can edit here. So based on the object, you will see a different set of pages which are allowed to extend. So that is what we have here. So now here, yeah. So here again, you have the same thing. You can edit this and show and edit the pages, and then you can add field groups here. See here, you can add field groups or mashup content. There are two things. What is field group? Yeah, let me go one of this. The field group is nothing but a group of fields. You can, I mean, yeah, the set of fields you can group it together and show it. So that is called field group. See, for example, now we don't have anything here, right? See, yeah. So this is the summary thing what we see, and below that you see something called sales coach, where you see a set of fields, and yeah, you can segregate the fields into groups and you can show here. So that is one thing here. See, I wanted to do this and show over the call so that you will understand what exactly we are doing it out. But rather than as the instance is very slow, we don't have time to do that. Yeah. So that is called field group, and there is something called mashup content also. What is mashup content? See, when you add mashup. Okay, first of all, let me show you. See, when you are adding a field group, so you give a field group financial info. So financial info you wanted to show, and this is here, and few fields you wanted to show. So whatever you show in the summary and few other fields you wanted to show as a separate area, financial status, something like this. You create a field group and expose few fields, and you can save and close. So that is called a field group. Okay, and then mashup content is nothing but again something what we did in page composer, right? The same way, add a mashup content. See, if you could see mashup content, you see all this, right? So what it is you can show any again a piece of report, or again any custom application you can show here. So that is what the mashup content is. So you can select this, for example, some map or this yellow quad digital profile, and you can insert it. And how are you seeing this all this mashup contents? What are the things you can see here? So that is where we need to create in the application. Okay, so you can give any condition here and say next, insert. And what are all the layouts you wanted to show this mashup content? Only in this layout or all the layouts? You can select this layout and say cancel. See, to show the list of mashup content, if you in app composer, if you see under common setup, you see something called mashup content. You go here and create your mashup content. Either it is a BI report, or it is a third-party application, or it's a VBCS application, a small app which you have built, any widget or whatever you created in VBCS. So that particular thing you create as a mashup content, and you can embed here. So that is what adding a mashup content under the detail page layout, right? So that is one way of doing. And another one, you have all the subtabs. There are out of the box subtabs, and here in clicking on this arrow, you can reorder the subtabs, which moving few to the top and bringing into the bottom. All that you can do. And then you can create your own subtab to show certain things. What are the things, certain things in the sense, what are the things are possible to show up in a custom tab are these things. Either one is the related objects. So if you are an opportunity object, you wanted to show data from another related object. If the opportunity has few codes, so you can select related object and you can show list of codes which are related to this opportunity. Select related object and say next, and you can select which is the related object. See, I see there are these many objects related to my opportunity. So for example, vehicle master. Vehicle master is a custom object I created, and I have you can see those fields here, and you can move those fields, and see there is an option here. You can set a sorting option, and you can show, create, add, and all that, remove, and all that, and save and close. Once you do this on an opportunity, you see a new subtab, which will be like this. For example, vehicle master, right? If you go to team, you have this, right? You'll see all the records related to this opportunity. The vehicle from the vehicle master will be seen in the subtab. Okay. So that is what the related object is. And then again, I'll create one child object. If opportunity has a child object, you can show the child object record. This is a related object. The difference between child object and related object is, you know, right? Child object is only related to opportunity, and related object is, one-to-many relation or many-to-many relation with another object. So that is called related object. Context link. So context link is, there is no relation between an opportunity object and another object in the system. For example, something called asset, and it is not related to opportunity, but you wanted to show a list of assets under opportunity. I wanted to see the asset when I'm on opportunity. I want to, in a subtab, I want to see the list of assets in the system or inventory, whatever. You can select the context link, and you can select that object, any object from which you wanted to show. You can select that object, and what are all the fields you wanted to show there in the subtab. You can select them and then show. So that all three are same. Yeah. So you can say which object I want to opportunity. I want to show all the accounts, and you can give the condition. What you want to show, the name is account score and account name. Anything you wanted to see here, and see list of fields you wanted to see here, and you can give the condition. You are an opportunity, and the opportunity country is US, and you wanted to show all the accounts in that city or something. So you can create that account, and you can put a filter here, account city equal to equals. You can give a literal value, or you can dynamically get the value and show here, and then show that one. That is called context link. And then next what we have is context link and mashup content and intelligent advisor. These are the two things which we normally we use extensively for our demo purpose. Intelligent advisor is adding a OPA interview. So if you have an OPA interview, you can add it in the account subtab or any object subtab. So that is what intelligent advisor. And mashup content, as we were embedding it, you can show again a mashup content. It's a third-party application or a BI report or whatever. So here, for example, I think I'm on this one, right? I'll do one thing. I'll go quickly. I'll go here.
Hey, Selva, a quick question on that massive content. So imagine if we have a customer order as a custom object and tracking object like consignment tracking. Let's say that is coming from some courier company side. So that becomes a massive content, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So imagine if I have to authenticate a order number automatically within that. So can we pass on that?
See, that is what that has to be. It depends on what is your mashup content is about, dude. See, I'll just show you here now. How do we create it? See, now here I have created one mashup content. See, for example, on contacts, this is done for Dubai. This thing. See, book a test drive. So this guy is. So here, this is a mashup content. See, even this Yellow Quad digital profile is also a mashup content. And here in this mashup content, what I have given is a VBCS application. Arey.
So meanwhile, while it is loading, just a quick question, Silva. Imagine if there is a company where they want to show the projects. What are the projects they are running in our opportunity or our accounts? So will it be a massive content where our project module we will show it here, or it will be
okay? See, what data you wanted to show is the list of projects in an opportunity. Correct.
Correct. For that particular account, yeah.
Correct. So where are the projects stored actually?
Projects in the project module only.
No, project module within Fusion.
Fusion projects, huh?
So in CRM there is nothing called project, right?
Right. So do you think that we have to create a custom object and sync it all the projects? I mean, basically, let's say 10, 15 fields of the project.
Yeah. So that's what you can create a custom object. You can create a custom object called project.
It's the same Fusion application. I don't think we need a custom object. No, we can pull in that data.
That's what. If it is
I'm
available.
Sure the customer. See, every project has a customer link. That customer is maintained in CRM. Right.
Okay.
So that could be a key value where we can pull in all the projects related to that customer, which is nothing but account. And show it here, right?
Yeah, see that we can do.
If it is external projects application, then probably we need a customer from where we can pull that data from external application, right?
Right.
Just asking you because it's the same Fusion application.
No, that is right. See, what I'm saying is, if that's what project is, there is within CRM there is nothing called project. There is no object called project. If it is in ERP, then it is a different story. And in our there is something called in our GSE high-tech vertical instance that they have created a custom object called project, and they have designed according to that. So I mean many opportunities are linked to one project, something like that. So that is the design. See, now our business requirement, how does it demand that we need to understand. So if customer is running a project for an account or multiple opportunities or a project, so that I don't know. So based on that, either we can leverage a high-tech vertical instance from GSE, or we can take something from ERP, or we can create a custom object.
So maybe I can simplify it quick. I don't know. I mean, you don't have to show it. I'm just trying to understand how it works. So for example, imagine it's a professional industry, like Oracle implementation partners, right? Imagine they have a CRM. So for us, let's say opportunity is closed. They go to CPQ and they say that a contract is on, opportunity is closed. Now they have to start that project because immediately billing is not happening in the project based on the milestones. They have to start the billing. So for that, as a sales guy in my opportunity, I should able to see that what are the projects are running and what stage it is. Now the project resource timelines, everything is happening in our project management model of Fusion, our internal project management model, for example. Okay. So the basic simple question is, imagine that that particular project, if for initiating of a project or checking on the project status, I'm not editing anything. I'm just trying to check what is happening in the project, for example.
Correct.
If that is the case, if I have to just like book test drive, you have extended. Similarly, can I have something like project? If yes, I know it is possible. Is it like as Satyajit mentioned that it is just like we have an inbuilt functionality to extend it based on an account as a filter, account ID goes as a filter, and so that.
Correct.
Or else it is like a mass up what you are showing that we have to pull out a browser or something like that. How we have to do it.
Yeah, so that's what. See, now the project, see, based on this one, actually, see, if it is a related object, if there is an existing relationship available, you can pick it from here. Okay. Definitely, it's not a child object. Okay.
Right.
And it can. So there is a relation between project and account, right? So in account, you are going to show project. So already every project will have an account associated. So when you go to related object, if there is a relationship exists, definitely you'll be able to see project in that list from this list. Okay, project as an object from this list. Currently, I have created a relationship between my opportunity and this vehicle master custom object, right? So that is why it shines.
There is a project one, right? second last.
See, that is one also here. See, opportunity.
That is project to bid. That is, I think.
So that is what this is where if you go to this relationships tab, right, you can see what are all the relationships in the system. Opportunity to project. First of all, we need to see where is the project object and what is the relationship.
Can we select that opportunity to parent?
This
project
one.
To
yes. Yeah, you will see all the objects. I mean, see, these are the fields which are available. So
is it a standard one, or you have created some custom relationship with this?
No, this I have not created. This is a GSC instance, right? All these are come from GSC. Yes.
No, it must be a standard one here because it's a one application, integrated application. So it allows you to pull the project data. As you can see.
No, sir. It is not like as a default standard. It is, they have extended.
No. This is not an extended one actually. It is a default one, comes in the GSC build.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, not the product
GSC,
one.
They have made it. But imagine if I just as a new customer, I'm getting an instance. So will it be by default, or I have to configure it?
Customer instance.
I don't think GSC is making so many changes in the standard instance. Whatever GSC instance is there, it is also available for customer, right, Selva?
No, sir. No, not really. Actually, customer instance will not have this GSC build. See, GSC build is for our. It's a generic build, right? I mean, those things will not be there actually. So, customer instance will see only the standard thing. See, even.
How do we identify what is standard and what is built by GSC?
So
where this Ananta is coming from is if he's showcasing this to the customer, and he should not, basically, customer should not feel that this was shown in the demo and it's not available there in the instance. Right?
Yeah.
Some of these things, because he's talking about some opportunity where he's working on, where the customer is into ETO or MTO kind of projects, business where these generally opportunity converts into a sales order, right? Here it is opportunities converted into projects, typical IT industry, IT services industry, or engineering industry, right? Where it's not an order, it is always a project.
See, that's what there are. See, that is what we need to see currently.
So, really sorry, we are digressing the discussion. So you go ahead with your plan.
Yeah, no problem. See, what I'm saying is, see, this one. When customer gets that, customer will get a plain instance. But in GSC we have different kind of instance. One, I mean, the horizontal instance, financial vertical, and high-tech vertical. So vertical based instances is also available. So this project and stuff, it is already available by the GSC in the GSC build of high-tech vertical one. So multiple opportunities are linked to a project, or opportunity can be converted to a project. So those flows are already there in GSC build. So if we go to demo.oracle.com, if we search for that particular content, if you go through that particular demo script what GSC has given, we can pick them up and then make change on top of it. So those, whatever the GSC demo store content, that is available in our GSC instances, but that will not be available for the customer for sure. Customer, they'll get a plain instance based on a vertical thing. Right?
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah. So I just created, I don't know, for some reason it's not opening. I just created a calendar view for booking a test drive or booking a service. It is a VBCS application and I've embedded here. So that is what I'm trying to show, but I don't know.
So is it possible, Silva, to create something similar quickly and show to the team how it can be deployed and visible on the live instance?
Yeah.
Maybe 2-3 fields in a table.
Okay, so let me take this one minute. Anything what I can say, VBCS.
Not VBCS, just within Composer.
Yeah. See, that's what. Before that, mashup content I wanted to show here.
Okay.
See this one. Here in App Composer, you have mashup content, right? So what you can do here is. So there are many things which we cannot cover in 1 hour.
I know.
Yeah.
That's the reason I said a simple one. Just
Yeah.
to create 2-3 fields and then add it into that opportunity tab.
Yeah. See this one, register a web application. Here you can create a mashup content. Mashup content are 2 ways. One is a parameter based or a Groovy expression. What is parameter based is you are giving an URL and then passing a parameter from the record, whichever you are selecting, or a Groovy expression. Groovy expression, you can again give an URL and append with your Groovy expression. So this one, I register an application, for example, this one, and then let me go to my account pages.
I think Silva, what sir is asking that how in the detail page you have, I think sir, he has already shown it in the detail page how you can add the custom fields and tabs.
No, just simple example.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just show you that. I think this instance is little fast. Let me show here. So I'll go to a detail page, default custom layout. I want this instance. See this one. This infolets. Yeah, you can create a summary box and show that. And that is one. And detail page. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to create a new field group. Something, system info. And I'll show what. I'll save this. Okay. Okay, so this is one, and I'll add mashup content. Mashup content, I've created one. I said it as a Groovy one. So I've not given any URL there. I'll copy this URL. I'm going to say return the complete URL. If it is a parameter based, you can pass the parameter dynamically for the URL and show that also. So done. Accounts. added in the profile. See that particular report I've added, and the system info group I added. Those fields we are seeing up here, and this report. See again, this outline, all that property. If you change, it will load according within the page and all that. So similarly, what did you do? You can do it in the sub tab also. Right. See, there's some visual view. So there are so many other things which. See, that's what. There are a lot of GC demo content itself, demo assets are available which we can reuse. Okay. And yeah, so how the users, the business demands, the customer demands, based on that we can customize and show that accordingly.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So is a simple script available, Silva, where these people can try out and do that exercise?
See, that is, I can share you this one. Where is that? I can share you. Yeah. Groovy scripting reference or Groovy guide, whichever. See, here you can yeah. Oh, this is agency. Yeah, even then it is fine. There is no much. See, here you have everything. The basic things are already there. See, when you go to the Groovy palette, right, you see all that. You can pick anything, the field name and all that. Yeah, you can always ping me in case of if you're stuck anywhere. I'll be able to help you. But here, it'll give everything. What you can, this basic, all these simple scripts are. See, for example, now if you search with date, right? How do you want to work with date? See, accessing current date from the database. So you can see a simple example also here in this. How do you access and all that? This Groovy guide is available in the docs.oracle.com, or I can share also, you have this is a complete guide. But yeah, so normally I know it is very difficult to go through the guide and search it rather than if someone is telling actually. See, here they've given the sample code and all that, right? So we can take it actually from here. User enroll, my app role. See, they are checking the logged in users role and all that. Yeah, it is always good to go and check the Groovy guide, Satyajit. But okay. Yeah. Here only engagement.
Yes, sir. Just a point to add. I think from our demo point of view, most of the time we face, the custom object and the script what he has already shown, adding some fields, and then the page logo and all that also he has completed. One more part I think left is the product category addition, like customer products. If you can, Silva, if you can quickly cover that, maybe it will be great.
Okay.
Because scripts and Groovy will not be pretty much using that.
Okay. Okay. So what you can do is, see, I have another call in next 8 minutes. See, okay. Tomorrow again we'll meet Satyajit.
Sure.
Probably if you could send me a few points, right? What are the things you wanted me to cover on that this thing? I'll be able to explain them.
I just need one simple demo, simple flow where basically.
Yeah, there are many. Yeah, Satyajit. Actually, there are many other things. Yeah, one like what he has product catalog, and the service request module also. There are many like adding service catalog and creating knowledge articles. I don't know how service module knowledge article, creating assignment rules. So many things are there, and so probably whichever the team demands, let me know. I will. I'll be able to just tell you whatever I know on that.
Done. No problem.
Yeah. So
thank you, Silva.
Yeah, I'll drop off. I'll share the recording with you, and then probably tomorrow same time is also fine, Satyajit. I think you don't have to go to Rishi also, but just drop me a note. We'll coordinate and schedule it for tomorrow also.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Silva.
Thank you so much. Thanks everyone for joining. Yeah, we'll meet again.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Salva.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Selva. Bye.
Yeah.